Hey entrepreneurs, welcome to the Art of Online Marketing live show. Today's topic is expertise, training, and faking it. So my name's Denise Allison, and I am the proud owner of Strategro, and I work with business owners to empower them to use social media, online marketing to grow their business, grow their audience, raise awareness of their business, and attract more customers online. So I can't believe that this is the last show of August. Time goes by so fast when you're having fun in your business and having fun with your awesome followers and your awesome audience. So thanks to all of you for watching along all summer, and I hope you stick around because I have some exciting things coming up for the show in September and for the rest of the year. So today's topic is inspired by a conversation that I had last week. So this video is a little bit more of a story than most of my videos, but it's still going to be really useful because it's an issue that affects all kinds of entrepreneurs. So I think it'll be really interesting for you. So before we get started, I want to hear from you. Let me know who you are if you're watching. I always have followers and it never tells me who they are. So I'd love to know who's following along and who's watching live and who's watching the replay. So let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and what your business is. And if you find the content of this video valuable, please share it with your audience so that they can benefit from this knowledge as well. So today's topic, are you an expert or a big fat faker? So if you're an entrepreneur, which most of you watching are entrepreneurs, you are an expert in what you do. So you know what you do inside and out, and you've ended up where you are for a reason. You've worked really hard to get where you are, and you've learned a lot, and you've gotten there on your own right. So no matter what type of business you have, you are an expert in what you do. You've either built something out of nothing if you created your business yourself, or if you bought a business, you have gotten your business to where it is today, and you've grown your business from a certain point. So you're definitely an expert in what you are offering. You didn't get to where you are with luck, and you didn't magically fall into the position you're in today. So you worked your butt off to get there. And I know personally, it's been an uphill battle the entire way. I've had to work hard for every single thing that I have, and I had to prove myself. Not even prove myself, I had to prove myself 10 times to show that I'm an expert in what I do. So if anything, luck was against me. And I am where I am today because I have experienced all these things, and I am truly an expert in what I do. And the same thing goes for you. So most of us, sometimes we seem to be living in fear. We fear that everyone's gonna find out that we're a big fat faker. They're gonna find out that we have no idea what we're doing or what we're talking about, and that we're in way over our heads. Sometimes we seem unable to recognize all that we've accomplished and that we are an expert in what we're doing. So despite all this evidence that we have, we feel like we still don't deserve the success that we've achieved. And we dismiss any proof we have as some luck or some timing, or that we've tricked people into thinking that we're super smart or intelligent or competent at what we do, but we're not really. So this is also known, you may have heard this term before, this is also known as imposter syndrome. And it's an issue that's fairly common among high-achieving women and entrepreneurs. So last week, I was chatting with someone, and she has a pretty cool job and at an economic development organization that works with business owners. So she has all kinds of life experience and work experience, and those have given her the skills she needs to do her job well. So we were discussing her role, and she works in the communications role, and she was describing her responsibilities, and she added this qualifier. She said, "I'm not formally trained in this." So we stared at each other for a few seconds, and then I responded with, "So what?" So most entrepreneurs I know, which is a lot of entrepreneurs are not formally trained in what they're doing. Like most restaurant owners aren't formally trained to be a restaurant owner. They don't have an extensive educational background in it. Like some might be a chef and some might be trained as a manager, but they're never both. And either one of those is not really the norm. So for me, do you think I have an educational background in online marketing and social media? Do you think such a thing exists? It doesn't. And if it did exist, do you think that it would be at all useful? I know a lot of people with commerce degrees or business degrees, and I mean, while it is a valuable education, it's a valuable education to have. I'm not dissing education here. I personally have a master's degree, so I'm not saying that it's not worth anything, but it's not necessarily practical for owning and running a business. So you're learning lots of theories and stats, but you're not learning how to run a business. So formal education is not going to prepare you to run a business. And I'm convinced that nothing in life is going to prepare you to run a business. So I know that my expertise comes from doing. I've learned it from, I've done things and I've learned what works, what doesn't. I've definitely learned what doesn't work. And I've done it from getting out there and trying things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And that's where most of my expertise comes from getting out there and trying things. I've also read and listened to all kinds of blogs and podcasts that specialize in these things, and they share their tips and tricks for what works and what doesn't, kind of like how I share here. Obviously, other people out there do this kind of thing. So I listen to what works for them, and then I take it and apply it to my own business and tweak it for my own audience and see how that works and how I can apply that to my own business and my industry. And then I take those same concepts and see how I can apply them with my clients and their businesses and their industries. So, I mean, when I say I have no formal training, I mean, I didn't go to school for marketing and social media, and I don't have a certificate that says that I'm a pro at this, or at least not a legitimate certificate. But I have definitely hired a business coach. So I hired a business coach to help me elevate my business from where it was, to get it higher, to grow my business, create more consistent revenue, looking at different revenue streams, and that whole business side of the business. So that part was taken care of through work with a business coach. And on the online marketing side, I've participated in a bunch of trainings, including list building training, webinar training, and both of those included social media, because that's important in all of those aspects, and it included social media, how to use it for those particular things. So there's always things that you learn when you do any training. Even if you're already the expert in it, there's always something to learn, and there's always new ways of looking at things. So I do have some training through that, but again, it's not like a recognized certification. It's practical knowledge that I can apply to my business and in turn apply to my clients' businesses. So again, I've taken that knowledge and applied it to what I do and my clients, and I've seen what works, what doesn't, and what changes I need to make it work better. And if some things don't work, well, I put that on a back burner pile. So that's where my expertise comes from, and it's same is true for most business owners out there. You start your business because you love doing something. So a restaurant owner is going to start a business. Good morning, Shauna. A restaurant owner is going to start a business because they love cooking and they want to share that gift with the world. So they start cooking and they start selling that, and everything else comes from real life experience of learning what works and what doesn't work for their market, their customers, the place they're in, the kind of food they're selling, and that kind of thing. So it's a lot more valuable than formal education because it's practical and you are learning what works and what doesn't work in a real life situation. So all the theory in the world isn't going to tell you what works for you and your business and your customers and the market that you're in. And what happens when you implement it, for that matter. So, how do we get over this imposter syndrome that I'm talking about? Imposter syndrome is feeling like a fraud or like you're faking it, and sometimes you feel like you're just convincing people that you're good at something when you're not. So how do we get over that? So whether it's because it's your natural state of always feeling like you're faking it, or because you don't have that formal education and you feel like you need to justify yourself for that. So here are some tips to overcome that feeling of imposter syndrome. So first is realize that you're in the position you're in because of the actions you've taken. So you are where you are today because you are you and you've done what you've done. So luck doesn't have enough power to get you anything. So sometimes we feel like a fraud because we're not able to internalize the successes that we've had. And this might be because you were given more opportunities than you feel other people were given. So it might feel like you've achieved something that you don't necessarily deserve. Well, I think that's phooey because, phooey is the technical term for it. So in some situations, you might have been luckier than others, and you might have been given opportunities that other people haven't. So if that is you and luck is on your side, well, first of all, I'm really happy for you. But you still made decisions and took actions to get where you are today. And that might have been a matter of saying yes at the right time or no at the right time, or just taking certain actions. But you haven't been completely taken out of the situation you're in. You have taken some actions and made some decisions to get where you are today. So it's not completely independent of you. You are part of where you are today. And in most cases, you've probably had a bigger hand in your success than just that. You've probably worked really hard to get where you are today, and you are really smart and you are an expert in what you do. So that is not nothing. You just need to realize that you are where you are today because of hard work that you have put in. So number 2 is stop comparing yourself to others. So I'm not entirely sure who you're comparing yourself to, but I know that you're comparing yourself to somebody. No matter who you are or what industry you're in, you are comparing yourself to someone. And it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people working in the same field as us. And often we're comparing ourselves to super experts with huge businesses and a huge name, and who have also been at it for a while. So, for example, I could compare myself to people like Gary Vee or Amy Porterfield, or the people behind Social Media Examiner, and all kinds of people who have very successful businesses in the online marketing field. And I can tell you that these people have been at it for years, and they have $1 million businesses, and probably more than $1 million. So the thing is, they didn't start their business yesterday. They all started their businesses and their careers way before I did. So naturally, they're way ahead where I am and where my business is at because they've had more time. And I know for Amy Porterfield, she used to work for Tony Robbins, which I'm sure you recognize that name. It's one of the biggest names out there. So she started her business with tons of contacts and a big network already, and was already an established name because of that association. And I started my business with nothing. So in no way should I ever make that comparison, because it's like comparing bananas and apples. So all I can do is aspire one day to be up there with those businesses and to make a name for myself. So instead of comparing yourself to others, aim for progress and continue to improve your skills and expertise, because no one can ever take that knowledge away from you. So number 3 is take action. So these feelings of imposter syndrome and fraud and faking it, they seem to surface when you are sitting around and overthinking things and thinking about all kinds of stuff and letting worries creep into your mind. So instead of overthinking everything, get out and get to work, and it will help you overcome these things and realize what you're really good at. So when you're out there accomplishing things and doing the things that you're an expert in and that you're really good at, you're not going to feel like an imposter, because you're out there in your glory and getting things done and focusing on what you are really good at. All right, so that's it for today. So those 3 tips again were: realize that you are in the position you're in because of the actions you've taken. 2, stop comparing yourself to others. And 3, take action. So you have 2 options. Are you a big fat faker, or are you an expert? The choice is yours. All right, so thanks for joining the show today. If you want to learn more about social media marketing, you can grab my free download on my website. It's under free stuff, and it's called 11 Mistakes That Are Preventing You from Turning Followers into Loyal Customers. So you just go to strateger.ca, and under the free stuff tab, it should be there. So don't forget, I go live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Atlantic right here on my Facebook page, and you can also check out all my past videos right here on Facebook, or also on my website strateger.ca under my blog. So if you like this video, share it with your friends and share the knowledge, and I'll see you all again next week. And shout out to Shauna and Max and Marcia, who have commented right here today, and I will see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.